Hey everybody. So when you saw the title of this video, you might have thought that I'm about to shit all over Mikko Rantanen or something like that, and I am absolutely not going to do that. Mikko Rantanen is having an incredible season. He's been outstanding for the Avalanche, and he's really one of, if not the main reason the Avalanche are as good as they are. However, he is not going to win MVP of the NHL this year, and I'm going to talk about why. Mikko Rantanen has been absolutely outstanding. He leads the league in points. His assist numbers are unreal. He's on pace for like 140 points this year. However, he has a friend and line mate named Nathan MacKinnon, who is also having an absolutely outstanding season and has great numbers as well. And unfortunately, the way that it works in the NHL is that the MVP does not necessarily go to the best overall player. The MVP goes to the most valuable player. And when you have two MVP candidates on one team, the way that Colorado has Rantanen and MacKinnon, they tend to cancel each other out. And that is going to, I think, stop Mikko Rantanen from winning MVP. Also, it's going to stop Nathan MacKinnon from winning MVP. They're going to cancel each other out. If you look at the numbers, they've both been incredible. Rantanen in 33 games played has 15 goals, 41 assists already. 41 assists in 33 games for 56 points. He's on pace for almost 140 points this year. And his point per game rate is going up as the season goes along. Usually guys start off really hot and it goes down but as you get into the season. But Rantanen's to this point has been going up. A week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, I did a video looking at guys who are on pace to score 100 points this year. Rantanen obviously led the way. He was on pace for 134 points when I did that video. Now he's on pace for almost 140. It's like 139.4 or something like that. Nathan MacKinnon, he's also gone up. He's on pace for almost 130 points now. Back when I did that video a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was now, he was on pace for 120 points, I believe. He's now on pace for 129 point something. Their numbers are going up as the season goes along. It's unreal what these two are doing. They are scoring at early 90s level in the modern NHL. It's unbelievable. We haven't seen scoring like this in a long time. I mean, I don't know who the last person to get to 120 points was. These guys are on pace to blow that 120 away. It's really unbelievable what they're doing. But they play on the same team. They play on the same line. They cancel each other out as far as the MVP race is concerned. I don't know who's going to win MVP this year because all of the leading MVP people, or at least who I think, when I think of MVP, I'm thinking these two. I'm thinking Connor McDavid. I'm thinking Nikita Kucherov. They all have teammates also having extremely good years who could potentially cancel them out. You know, Rantanen and MacKinnon are 1-2 in the NHL in points. They kind of cancel each other out for MVP. Nikita Kucherov has Braden Point, who is right up there in points-wise with Kucherov. Connor McDavid has Leon Draisaitl. They're all kind of canceling each other out. Now, I think out of those, the most likely to win MVP is probably Connor McDavid. Because when I think of the MVP trophy, it's not the best player. It's take this guy off the team and how badly does the team, just completely collapse. And if you take Mikko Rantanen off of the Colorado Avalanche, yes, they're not nearly as good as they are with him, but they still have Nathan MacKinnon. And MacKinnon has shown that he can lead the way and he can be a team leader. And Rantanen was good last year. He had a good season. He had a breakout season last year. But he wasn't at this level, and MacKinnon was the guy who was getting the MVP talk. I believe he finished second in MVP voting behind Taylor Hall. he led the way. So McKinnon's proven that he can lead the way and be an MVP guy. So if you take Rantanen off of the Avalanche, they still have McKinnon. If you take McKinnon off of the Avalanche, you have Rantanen performing at this level. So they kind of cancel each other out. If you take Nikita Kucherov off of the Tampa Bay Lightning, they still have Steven Stamkos. They still have Braden Point performing at this unbelievable level. They still have Tyler Johnson and all these other great supporting pieces. Would they be as good? Absolutely not. If you take Kucherov off the Lightning, they're not nearly as good. But they're still a good team. If you take Connor McDavid off the Oilers, they're a last place team. I firmly believe that. Look at how awful they were last year with McDavid. With McDavid scoring over 100 points last season, he proved that one player can't do it alone. But if you take McDavid off the Oilers, Edmonton's in a playoff spot right now. If you take McDavid off that team, they are a last place team. Leon Draisaitl, there or not, they're a last place team without Connor McDavid. And that's why I think guys like McDavid have an advantage in the MVP race, because their value is so unbelievable. If you take Sidney Crosby off the Pittsburgh Penguins, they still have Evgeny Malkin. That doesn't mean Crosby can never win MVP, but he has to perform at an insane level to win MVP. If you take Alex Ovechkin off the Washington Capitals, that's almost a bigger loss for the Capitals than losing Crosby is for the Penguins, because the Penguins have Malkin. The Capitals don't have anyone else that can score at Ovechkin's level. They have some other really good players, but no one that can score like Ovechkin. So if you take him off that team, they're in big trouble. When you take Mikko Rantanen off the Avalanche, they still have Nathan McKinnon. When you take Nathan McKinnon, they still have Mikko Rantanen, and that hurts their MVP case. Look at Taylor Hall last year. Taylor Hall didn't lead the league in points. He didn't even get to 100, while 3 other guys did. But he had a majority of the Oilers' points. He was far and away the leading point getter on not the Oilers, the Devils. He was far and away the Devils' point leader. If you took him off that Devils team that made the playoffs last year, they're a last place team. Heck, they're not in last. Philly's in last now, but they're near the bottom of the standings this year with Taylor Hall. And Hall's still playing pretty well, playing really well. But last year he carried that team on his back. Mikko Rantanen isn't carrying the team on his back because Nathan McKinnon is right there with him. So while they're both having unbelievable seasons, and Rantanen has been this is not really out of nowhere, but kind of out of nowhere. He had 80-something points last year. He had a really good season last year. But this is unreal. And I don't think anyone saw this coming. This is a whole other level of greatness. And he'll probably win the Art Ross, and he absolutely deserves it. That's not a picked award. That's just who has the most points. He's well on his way to that. But I don't think he's going to win MVP, because Nathan McKinnon is right there with him points-wise. And they're going to cancel each other out. So I don't know who wins MVP this year. I'm leaning towards it's probably going to be Connor McDavid. If the Oilers make the playoffs, or finishing good, if they make the playoffs at all, especially if they make it in a top 3 Pacific spot, I'm going to say the league probably gives it to Connor McDavid. Because if you take Connor McDavid off that Oilers team, they are a last place team. They are awful without him. He is that team. So that's why I love Mikko Rantanen. I think he's having a tremendous season. He's been absolutely outstanding. I think he's been one of, if not the best player in the league this year. He does have the most points, but he has Nathan McKinnon right with him points wise, and that's gonna hinder his MVP likeliness, because they're gonna cancel each other out. People are gonna say, all right, Rantanen's leading the league in points, but McKinnon's number 2. Which one's more valuable than the other? They just cancel out. So I'm not bashing Mikko Rantanen. I just don't think he's going to win MVP because he, has teammates right there with him. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.